Okay. What's up? What's up? Someone is definitely in chat, so hello to you, sir or lady. Okay, I suspect that this is going to be a relatively unpopular stream or future video to be because, you know, who uses Devuan, right? Of course, there are many users who use it. So we're going to check it out, right? I just want to have a feeling that I'm talking to someone. That's all. Don't let me talk to myself. Okay, I have a mosquito in the room. That's kind of interesting. I'm gonna have to do some killing here. Having a mosquito in the January, that's kind of interesting, right? Hi, Vladimir. Okay, mosquito got away. If you see me making weird moves, that's because I'm on a killing spree, right? Zoran, good evening. I lost a mosquito in the room, and I don't want him to bite me. Okay, let's do the unpopular stream, right? Let me show you what we are going to kill today. I was fooling around with OpenBSD on my T580, right? So let's log into this one just for a couple of minutes. What? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know how well can you see this font size. It should be fine. It's OpenBSD 7.6, so pretty much the latest version of OpenBSD. I was actually intrigued to see that wireless actually works out of the box on this one. And by out of the box, I mean almost out of the box. Basically, they have drivers for many wireless cards. However, they are, I guess it's a licensing issue because they are not allowed to distribute these drivers with the installer, right? So I have installed OpenBSD and a lot of things were pulled from the internet. I'm not sure which exactly image did I download. Was it the light one or the full one or whatever? It did use my wired networking to do the complete installation. And once I have rebooted the operating system, at that moment, it just pulled the drivers for wireless over the internet, right? Yeah, completely automatically before I even logged in for the first time, because my Ethernet cable was plugged in, and the first boot has already had access to the internet, and it just pulled drivers for the wireless, and I had to do a certain command to connect to Wi-Fi network, right? So that was kind of cool. Okay, let's kill it. The Devuan is already plugged in as a USB stick, so let's just boot into that. I'm pressing F12. It should give me an option to boot. Why is it not? Something strange is going on. When I press F12, it is typing 66 for some reason. Function lock, maybe? Maybe it was function lock. What the hell is going on with this laptop? Okay, I'm just gonna hard power off. Zoran is asking for a first, just let me bring this on top. For a first BSD experience with BSD, do you recommend OpenBSD, FreeBSD, NetBSD? And what GPU? Okay, so check my keyboard. I don't know. I just long pressed the power button to kill the laptop because I have no clue what's going on. Let's try again. I'm pressing F12. Now it should be fine because it beeped. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know what happened. Generic flash drive. Default option. Okay, so on this laptop I have just a normal Intel CPU with integrated Intel graphics, and this basically works on everything. So what else? What else was the question? For a first BSD experience, what would I recommend? Well, my first BSD experience was with FreeBSD, and some people would recommend Ghost BSD, but Ghost BSD is not actually an operating system. It's like to the best of my knowledge, it's like FreeBSD, but prepared in a way that's easy to install, I suppose. I haven't tried it, and I will not recommend that because FreeBSD on its own has an excellent documentation, and if you read slowly and carefully, you will. Let me just unify my outputs. Oh crap! Crap! I have booted the wrong installer. I booted KDE Linux for some reason. I think this is my Devuan here. So what I would recommend is probably FreeBSD because one of the reasons is they have zero experience with NetBSD. And FreeBSD I have already installed a couple of times, and I can tell you that if you follow the procedure that is described on the FreeBSD webpage, their documentation is really good. So simply go through the install steps. Devuan live. Yeah, let's go with the default option. I know the font is I know the font is tiny, but I'm gonna make it bigger once the live image boots up completely. The reason why I said FreeBSD is mostly because of the documentation, and it's kind of like a most desktop ready BSD, right? It has some issues with wireless drivers, but there are ways around it. Also, OpenBSD is a bit less desktop ready. It has somewhat better wireless drivers. You can try all of it. It's good fun. It's good fun in any way. So once again, I have. Let's mirror this place. Okay, excellent, excellent. Now let's see if we can increase the size of all of this. Desktop settings. Do we do this here? This is XFCE. This is not being done here. System. Graphics, no. System. Where is the display settings? Yeah, you can feel free to listen to Vladimir. He has quite a lot of experience. Oh, displays application is here for some reason. How? Why is it here? Or what is going on? Maximize? Oh, I know what that is. Okay, let's go to advanced. This took a little bit. Apply. Now what did I do? So this screen, once again, it's not mirrored. Once again, it's not mirrored. So let's do it on this side. So I want them mirrored and I want them 1.5. Apply. And it seems like I got the opposite of zooming in. I got it zoomed out. I'm confused. Let's mirror once again and 2 times. Now this is doing the opposite than what I was expecting. I guess fine. Let's leave them at 1x if that's how the system wants to behave. Because for some reason 1x is the biggest looking one. I don't know. Strange. Both displays are 1080p. I mean the screen display and my laptop display. I don't get it, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go with the installer. Okay, so let me just catch up with chat quickly. FreeBSD NVIDIA, kitty, go kitty. Why are you all saying kitty? I already like the loading screen. Looney Walker, lol. What is machine specs? On this machine, we have, let's see if I can bring up the, oh, funny. Timeout was reached. This installer is impatient. Impatient. Let's see if there is fast fetch. No. Cut CPU. No. Proc CPU info. Okay, so it's Intel i5 8th generation. I'm not sure if you can see it. i5-8250U. So it's a quad-core CPU with multi-threading in a laptop, like a 15-watt model, 16 gigs of RAM, integrated graphics. What else can I say? NVMe drive. There's nothing really special about it. It's just a regular ThinkPad, right? Soren says, thanks for the info. Vladimir says, okay. Looney Walker says, in settings menu, you need to read the chat, you know. You need to read the chat. Create a new run level and tell init it. I just want to install it for now. Let's not play with the live installer. I mean, let's not play too much with the live session. I just wanted you to be able to better see what is on the screen, right? Okay, let's start this again. Okay, so the installer says that this is untrusted application launcher, which is really great to see for a polished Linux distribution installer. So let's just, I don't know, mark it executable or launch anyway. Let's launch anyway. Refracta UEFI BIOS installer. Okay. I think Refracta installer is coming from one of the like forks of Devuan. There's my mosquito. And it got away again. Oh well. Do not format a pre-existing FE partition. Okay, actually I will pretty much do exactly that. But I'm just gonna play smart. Screen will be the same. William Kennedy says, okay. Which one of you already has experience with installing Devuan? Check the options you want for the installation. If you don't understand an option, you probably don't need it. Okay, fair enough. Create a new separate home partition. We don't need that. Create a separate boot partition. I guess we don't need it. Use existing swap partition instead of a swap file. Encrypt the root file system. Encrypt the home partition. Write random data. Write zeros. Do not format file systems. Use IDs of the partitions in FS tab. That's actually useful. Use file system labels. Okay, that's irrelevant. Disable automatic login to desktop. Okay, this is either way good. Disable automatic login to console. Good. Move selected directories to separate partitions to run pre-installed scripts listed below. Listed below. Nothing is listed below. Okay. Okay, so now we have some partitioning going on. You need to have at least one partition ready for the installation, plus one for each separate partition that you choose. If you already have the partitions ready, you can skip this step. So let's pretend that we don't have any partitions because we have had OpenBSD installed with a bunch of partitions. So run gparted or run gdisk. I don't even remember the difference between these two, but let's go with gparted. So my OpenBSD installer has had like a bunch of partitions, like 10 of them. But I guess those were like virtual partitions like Linux had with extended partitions, because I clearly remember the system making separate partitions for a boot, at its user, home, even var, and many more. So let's kill this one, delete this. FE system area. FE system area, I guess we can leave this. Size is 260 megabytes. Or maybe let's kill this one as well and let's make it from scratch so that there is nothing from OpenBSD inside there, right? New partition. New size of this partition. Let's make it like 500 megabytes. Primary partition. Partition name is fairly irrelevant, but it will be FAT32, right? For the FE. Where do I tell it that this is going to be FE partition? Probably not here. Maybe right click, format to. How do I change the type? Retoras Refracta is based on Devuan. In fact, it is the #1 based Devuan distro, and Refracta installer can be used on Debian as well. Okay, thank you. Partition. Okay, where did I miss the... So the file system can be FAT32, but where do I... Oh, flags. Flags. How do I check flags here? In the next step, you will be prompted more, but I want to create partitions first. Information. what am I missing here? Shouldn't there be a way to tell the system that I'm making like FE partition, right? So there's not many options here. exFAT, FAT, Linux swap, Minix, network file system, cleared, unformatted. Okay, I guess there will be a step where I will tell it that this is going to be an FE partition. So let's make a swap partition with like 17 gigabytes. Do a simple partition. Okay. Primary partition. Swap. Where is swap? Am I blind? Oh, there we go. I'm blind. 17,000 megabytes. Should be more than my RAM. 16.6 gigs. That's fine. And for the rest, let's just make the normal partition. Let's call it Devuan. Add. Okay. Apply all this. And close. Okay, so oh, now I can manage flags. Great. So it's not really a next step. You just need to create them first. Okay, so this will be ESP and boot. That's what I was missing. Okay. Do we need any flags here? I guess no. I guess no. And swap is already assigned as a flag. Retoras, I have to admit, net installer works in a more sensible way. Plus, you can choose init. Okay, I understand. Well, we can do both. We can do both. I just wanted to check it out completely, right? So let's save this. Actually, it's already saved. I guess we can just close this window, right? Okay. Choose a partition to use for the installation of the operating system. Okay, so this is my USB stick. It would be nice if closing the previous window hasn't made it so that I don't remember which partition was it. I mean, I did make it that the boot partition is the first one, second one was swap, and the third one was the system, right? So I suppose this is the system. It will format in ext4. Okay. I'm just saying it would be lovely if it told me like you have formatted it this way and now we have is this the log actually? No, this is from before. We can actually close this. Proceed with installation. Geographic area. Let's go to Europe. Next. Where do we live today? London. Okay, let's go to London. Locals. English. Oh, it's already selected English US. Fine. Next. Generic keyboard layout US English. That's fine for today. Default behavior. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Let's just do this. Use Control Alt Backspace to terminate the X server. This is old school style. Control Alt Backspace to terminate the X server. That's fine. I like that. Also, now we are in the terminal, and it is asking me, Do not close this terminal window until the installation is finished. Gparted was executed. N1P3 contains ext4 file system created. Proceed anyway. Well, yeah. All studio so being born again. I see. Who was born again? My coffee is getting cold. Retoras, you said the other installer. Which one? Which one did you say? Net installer? I can't find it in chat. You said that the other installer is much more sensible. Is that the same one as the text mode installer from Debian, or is this something completely different? Holy Studio born again. You mean Bash? Like born again shell? I'm not catching the joke. You guys can do more jokes in the chat. Feel free, as this is fairly boring procedure here. Retora says net install is almost the same as Debian text installer made by shell. Made by shell. But is it ncurses based, like text user interface? All Studio is trying to tell me something, but I'm clearly dumb today. I apologize for that. All right, we are finished. So let's see what we have. Install bootloader and finish the installation. Okay, chroot will open an Xterm in the chrooted installation for custom work. Okay, we don't need that. We are not expert installers today. P1 should already be mounted. Okay, that's relevant. Continue will proceed whether or not you have installed the bootloader. If not, you will need to have another way to boot the installation. Okay, so we definitely want to install the bootloader. Let's just see what this is telling us. Okay, so SDA1. Oh, this is our stick. Installer stick. Yeah, whatever. Let's just install bootloader. Setting up grub. Okay, new hostname Devuan, new username. New username I will be called Dart. And my name is Renaissance. Permit sudo for me. And keep root account. I think this is good. Use sudo as default for new user and disable root account. Okay, we don't want that. Use sudo only for shutdown. The first option is fine. Let's go with OK. You should set the root password, or you should reset the root password. Okay. There's my password. Use current password, whichever that is. I haven't even set it. You should change user password. Okay. Installation complete. You may now reboot into the new system. Remember to remove your installation media. Okay, we are done, boys. The installer has fully finished. We can go with logout and restart, and I'm gonna pull my USB stick any moment now. It's made by Dialog, says Retoras. Okay, okay. Stick out. Is the Dialog one on the same stick? Just another boot option. Oli Studio is guessing wrong. Linux kernel 6.1, of course. Okay, you cannot see the login screen because it's on the first screen, but it actually looks nice, like very elegant. I'm gonna show it to you somehow because it's clean. It's really nice. Yeah, that sucks, right? You can't see it really. I like these clean login screens without too much going on. Like username, Dart, password, and we are in. And I'm going to. Oh, it's already mirrored. That's good. Oli Studio is giving up on communication with me. That's also fine. Retoras, no, this installer works only on net install ISO because it's more flexible. Okay, Retoras, I'm pretty sure that I have downloaded the default install from Debuan website. Whatever felt as default, right? www.devuan.org. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I did not download it today, but as far as I remember, I just went to download and went for whatever was default, like desktop live, explored the default xfce desktop before installing, then install easy and quickly from the live session using the Fracta installer. Firmware is installed, but can easily be removed. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I just went, for whatever the developer is offering as the first option, right? So I simply, net install. Okay, I understand there is an option for that. Server, desktop, minimal live. But for whatever reason, it seems like the desktop live image is being presented as the first choice. And it's not the alphabetical order, as I can see. So I suspected that Devuan people want me to try that one, right? No, I downloaded desktop live, not the desktop. Oli Studio, you can click on the. You actually can't. You need to join the channel if you want to use these emojis. Like this one. I have a couple of them. I will add more. The mosquito in my room is making me nervous. Yeah, basically, okay. Now I know. Now I know after the first install that Desktop Live might not be the ideal way to install this operating system, but if I still think that if the developer of this operating system wants to steer people towards a certain one of these images, then they should either make it the first choice on the list or make it the like an accented version of the download. Because if you go to openmandriva.org, though they keep tuning it, their webpage, when you get to this webpage, so what is the first thing that comes into your eye? It's the download button. So you click download, and now it is asking you if you want rock, rom, cooker, spins, or server. And at this point, you might not be entirely sure. If you are a completely new user, you don't have any idea what rolling means. what is the home and workstation edition, what is for individual users. You have no clue, right? All this sounds like the same, and you read the whole page and it says or simply go with the default download on SourceForge, and then you click this one because that seems like the easier option. I accept, and something starts downloading. You don't know which one it is because you're uneducated, but something starts downloading, and that's ROM, so that's rolling the version. It's the last, like a published one from the previous month. Comes with Plasma 6 with X11 server, right? So this is their preferred show off, and they want people to use that version. I just canceled it because there's no need for us to download this. I'm just saying how the untrained mind works. You just go with what's offered, right? If you are an expert user, then I suppose you're going to try some of these options until you see which one can give you the most stretchiness. That's the wrong word, right? But the most options. Only things that I'm talking about him. Maybe. I'm just kidding. You guys here are all well trained to make a difference between these options. So we have xFAT installed. Can we do some backports? Like, let's do some fun. I like backports and I like new kernels. Can we do the control plus? No. How do we zoom in this terminal? It should be control plus. Why isn't it? Because okay. I'm gonna catch this mosquito sooner or later. I think I'm Houdini because I don't see it anymore. Okay, good font size. Sudo -I. Okay, we are now the power user. Oli Studio, don't worry about it. It's all fun and games, right? We have we have all been how did you say, uneducated user. We have all been uneducated users at one point, right? So you go as far as you feel comfortable, right? If you want to stay Ubuntu user forever and just clickety-clack, this is perfectly fine because Linux is now at the point where I think pretty much all users can actually use it this way, right? You just pick your favorite distro that supports either snaps or flatpaks, and you'll get access to most of the software. I would maybe argue that Flatpak might have more software at this point, but there are some things that are Snap exclusive, so whatever. I would just recommend Zorin to everyone, so you have access both to snaps and flatpaks through the GUI, and it's really easy and just works. Only Studio says Fedora, yeah. This is fine. If Fedora works for you, all the power to you. Let me remind myself. Edit apt sources list. Okay, so we have backports already. We don't have to invent the line for backports. We can just uncomment this line, and now we have backports. And kudos to Devuan developers for providing this in such a convenient way. Daedalus proposed updates. This sounds good, although we should maybe find out what that is. Let's go with some manual. Where's the manual for this? Install. Release notes, release information, package repositories. Okay, package repositories. This is in a good position. I have default configuration. Okay, this is nothing. Oh, Tor, access via Tor. This is really interesting. We also provide access to our package repositories via Tor. Install apt transport Tor and then use the following hidden services. So this is really cool. I have had no clue that they support this this way of updating the distribution. I don't think I have ever seen this in a Linux distribution before. Vladimir Mishev, if you do just su, then you're going to become a. Let me show you actually. Why is my F3 button not working? Oh, because once again function lock is switched. Okay, source repositories. I'm going to answer Vladimir's question in a second. Debian source, main non-free. I want everything. Update, security, backports. Yeah, just give me everything. Okay, so let's go back. If you do, who am I? Who am I? So I'm Dart, right? And I have this shell, right? I have cat.bash rc. Okay, so I already have some setup for my bash rc. Good. You understand this, how this works, right? You have some aliases here which are not active. You have you execute this file here, bash completion. There are some settings in this bash rc, right? So when I do ls, it is answered in color. This is all the Dart's default bash settings. So when you just go su, it will elevate your privileges to root, but it will not execute root's bash rc, and it will not change the directory. Okay, so where we are now, we are at home Dart. So let's do su. Okay, and we are now root. Who am I? We are now root, but we are still in home Dart folder, right? And when you type ls, what just happened is I don't think it has called root. Let me check. Nano bash rc. Okay, case. Ignore both host size. Let me just find, okay, case terminal color. There is a lot of settings here. So alias ls equals ls color equals auto. See, I think it should have executed this if I actually logged in as root, right? So let's go back to Dart and let's go with sudo -i. I will explain the difference. So now I'm root, and if you have noticed, we are no longer in Dart's folder. We are now in root's folder. So what happened is that we have like logged in as root kind of from scratch, right? And if we type ls, and once again is not executing in color for some reason. Let's go home Dart ls. It's not in color. ls -- color. Oh, too many minuses. I don't know. It should, when you do, we are Dart again. Basically, su will just become super user at the same position, and if you do su minus Um, su minus. I think that this is enough. Just su minus. Yeah, yeah. So su space and dash is the same as sudo minus I. It does the same thing. I mean the effect is the same. Not the, it's not doing the same thing, but the effect in the end is the same. So you're now like in the root folder. I really did not explain this properly. I know about different passwords. I mean functionality. I'm that's what I meant. Functionality. You should be able to execute the. Let's try go from root to Dart again. So su Dart. Interesting. And now it's in color again. But we are in roots folder. If I do su minus Dart, then we will execute like Dart's shell. I don't know. I always use it with the minus. Let me finish this repositories apt update. Repository changed its label to from Devuan security to Devuan dash security. Okay, we agree with this. Let's just run it one more time. Yeah, okay, now it's clean. Apt full upgrade. Let's do a full upgrade while we are reading the website. Okay, so the Tor functionality is quite cool. I like it. This has its place under the sun for sure. Add security updates. We strongly recommend security updates. Okay, stable updates. Stable proposed updates. Okay, so proposed updates are packages that will become part of the next stable point release, but not fully tested yet. It is usually safe to use them, but we recommend not using them on production systems. Okay, so stable point release in Debian is 12.1, 12.2, etc. Right? So usually when I use Debian and if I regularly update my system, and when the point release comes, there is nothing to update because I am already up to date. So I'm not sure what how did Devuan configure this. I suppose they separated the proposed ones from default. Uh, Add backports, default no. Backports provide newer versions of packages already in the testing suite, but linked to stable dependencies. This is useful if you prefer newer software versions over well-tested stable versions. It is advised to disable backports and only enable to install specific packages. That is fine. Experimental is for testing very new software. Did I enable experimental? I actually enabled everything that was on the list. I'm just gonna check it once again when the installer finishes. Actually, let's. Can we do another tab? How do I do tabs here? Control Shift T. Edit apt sources list. Experimental. I did not enable experimental. Okay, this one is not offered by default. You have to copy paste that one. That's good. Vladimir says, thanks. I'm always using su minus. That's what confused me. Yeah, that's that's pretty much the same effect, right? Should we install another desktop environment to check out how how Devuan, sorry, how Devuan breeds? If yes, then let me know which one. There's only 6 of you in chat, so feel free to just type. If you want me to keep clicking on Xfce or switch to KD or GNOME or something fourth. What is the latest 6.1 kernel? I need to know. Oh, sorry. Wrong site. I was for a moment like, what? Okay, 6.1.127. Okay, so let's see if we get 127. Oli Studio has picked a Y desktop environment. Okay, so that's one choice. Vladimir, you think that we are going to get 6.1.13? I don't think it's 13. So we are now at... Look, we are now at 6.138. Okay, so we are now doing the system upgrade. So we should definitely get a much newer kernel. We should get 6.1 100 and something, right? Yeah, I understood, Oli. Oli Studio, I'm just fooling around a little bit. Let's reboot from here. Oh, Vladimir, we are not going to get 6.13 on default Devuan. This is Debian 12 based. You can only get the on Debian and Devuan you can only get 6.1 unless you use backports. So if you use backports, then you can get the newer one, whichever it is. It is currently in backports. Once again, the login screen is on my end. Hopefully it will mirror again. Good, good. Okay, so the system upgrade has provided us with the latest kernel. I mean latest 6.1, right? Because 6.1 is long-term support. And yeah, that's what you get on Debian, whatever it comes out with on the date of release. That's what you're stuck with for the rest of the life of this Debian system, unless you use backports. Open Mandriva has 6.12.9. I actually wouldn't know because Mandriva was on this laptop this morning and I ran over it with OpenBSD, and now I ran over OpenBSD with Devuan. But I'm going to go back to Mandriva again. I'm just going to shuffle a little bit of these tests. Okay, backports. So I'm just gonna try to remember the command from the back of my mind without using the internet. So let's do this. Apt install me -t. I think it's T for the repository. Daedalus backports, and then just Linux. How do you say Daedalus? Did I type it correctly? D-A? Oh no, it's wrong. D-A-E-D. No, it's fine. Okay, so the repository is now correct, but the Linux package is not correct. Let's just list all packages. List grep Linux image AMD64. Okay, Linux image AMD64. This should pull it. Okay, so now we are getting 6.12.9 from the backports, right? So this is kind of practical on Debian systems because you can keep the stable system on the whole, right, but get the new kernel. The thing is, I don't, when new Debian comes out, for let's go back to 2023, right? In 2023, Debian 12 was released sometime in summer with kernel 6.1, which was already like 6 months old, and as time goes by, in a very short time, Debian backports team puts a newer version of kernel that is currently available in the backports, so you can kind of install it on your Debian 12. And when a newer version comes out, they will give you that one as well, and they kind of update it through the time, and over time, like we are now a year and a half away from the launch of Debian 12, and they are now giving us 6.12.9. However, I don't believe that they are going to give us 6.13 at all, because the way Debian stable and basically all Debians, how they function, they have SID version. Some people like to calling Debian rolling. I hate that term used on Debian. So Debian SID is for developers and for testers, and you have all of the latest stuff there usually. And when something is considered to be fairly stable, then they move it to Debian testing, and it sits in Debian testing for a while. And if it's like stable enough, let me just log in. If it's stable enough, then they might be inclined to offer a backport of some of the packages if they have the time to do that. So one of the things that they have backported is like Emacs and kernel, right? But all of it is being prepared for Debian 13. So from Debian unstable to Debian testing to Debian 13. And Debian 13 will get kernel version 6.12. Okay, no, in the summer. No matter that at that time there will already be kernel 6. Like how many weeks do we have until summer? We have until summer. We will get roughly 6 months. Every 6 weeks, like one kernel. Let's say that we get 4 kernels, so we will get kernel 6.16, for example, by the time the Debian 13 comes out, but it will come out with kernel 6.12. So I don't think that they will keep putting newer kernels in backports or in testing or in unstable, because both unstable and testing are like slaves to the next stable version of Debian. So people who believe that Debian unstable is rolling, I mean, it's rolling for a while, but at this point it is going to stop rolling for like half a year. So it's a bit shit to to torture yourself with the Debian unstable and think that it's a rolling distribution. Uname. Yeah, we are at 6.12.9. Let's do it like... sorry. What I wanted to install was like apt install Emacs. Okay. So you see it is installing Emacs 28.2 from the official stable repository. Alexei Shilin says newer kernels will appear in experimental. They will, but at which point in time? Do you think that newer kernels will appear in experimental before Debian 13 is officially released or after? I believe it's after, but I could be wrong. If you can correct me, that would be cool. So we have installed Emacs 28.2, right, from the official repository. So if you just run the exact same backport install command and just swap the kernel with the Emacs, right? So let's see what will happen. We are going to pull Emacs 29.4, which is the latest one. So this is really cool. Oh, so experimental is already at 6.13. Interesting. I wasn't aware that it is actually rolling. So then only testing is the one that stops, like gets kind of abandoned for a while. Emacs. There we go. Trying to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so there we go. 29.4. What else can be installed from backports just for fun? Okay, we actually need firmware, because if you just pull the Linux image, you might be having some issues with drivers such as wireless, for example. Let's go with the dpkg -- list grep firmware. So which firmware do we have here? AMD microcode is fine. Firmware Linux 3. We don't have the package called Linux firmware. Interesting. But I'm pretty sure that we need to pull that one from backport as well. And it should be called firmware-linux. Yeah, that's right. So this is going to pull some stuff that I don't actually need. So you can just pick the ones that you really do need. But I'm just gonna install this all just for fun to have all of the firmwares ready and available. I'm gonna be wiping this install anyway. So if you do use backports on Devuan Debian, just make sure that if you pull the latest kernel, then to pull the latest firmware as well, because at some point they need to match. They always are. Newer desktop environment versions will also be there, while the freeze so unstable is not completely frozen. Okay. No, unstable also kinda freezes, but experimental is. You're saying experimental. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. I only have the main three of them in my mind, like unstable, testing, stable. I never even tried experimental in my life. It doesn't really vibe. The name doesn't vibe like something that I would want to use on in my production. The only Debian that I use is stable, not even testing or unstable or experimental. That's totally not for me. I mean, at work I use stable because I really need my computer to work exactly the same as it has worked yesterday and the last week and the last month and the last year, and that's kind of important for my work. At home I use rolling distributions which are advertised as rolling distributions, so that's fine. But I don't want to use rolling distributions that are advertised as experimental distributions, because that would suck. I'm pretty sure. Apt install nvim. Do we have nvim? Wow, Debian does not have nvim. What about backports? Nvim. There is no nvim. Oh, is it neovim? Sorry, neovim. Yeah, okay. I am a little bit silly. So one of the things with neovim is that it is quickly being developed, and version 0.7 is quite an old one. I suspect like a year and a half old. So for the actual programmers, this could be shit. Let's check here. Neovim. There is no neovim in backport. So okay, so that's a shame. Apt out remove to remove the stuff that we don't need anymore. Let me see if I can switch to a virtual terminal and that you can see it as well. Yeah, we can. Root. So what I want to do here, set font. Can you tell me a name of some font that is really big? Like I need a huge font. Maybe I can find it myself. Big. No. Okay, search brave.com. Debugger configure console setup to change the font size. I just wanted to execute a command to load a font, but okay, let's do it your way. Sounds better. Okay, Latin. Font for the console fixed. Terminus bold, VGA, do not change the boot kernel font. Let the system select a suitable font. I wanted to have a list for the really huge fonts. Vladimir Mishev, how easy is to install Zlang and GTC build environments with all needed tools? On Debian and Devuan, you mean? I think you just need to install a package called actually, you know what is the easiest method? Just download the development version of the kernel and it will pull all of the development environment along with itself, like kernel source or something like that. Just pull that and it will automatically pull everything. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, Alexei, maybe you can help me out with what is the name of the development version of Linux kernel package, so I can pull it and show to Vladimir how it pulls the development environment. I'm not sure if it's just dash dev. No, it's not. Build essentials. Okay. But there build essentials. I it's not called that. I actually typed it correctly, but it's not called that. Actually, let's do apt search build s. Oh, without the s at the end. Okay. So what this is going to pull is development for dpkg, fake root, g++, gcc, diff. Okay, and it is recommending some other stuff. For example, autoconf, automake. This is something that you might want to use for kernel. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Let me just read Vladimir's question once more. How easy is to install Slang and gcc build environments? Oh, this is not Slang actually. This is just gcc, right? Apt search Slang. Okay, this is a bit big. Slang stable, just one, just as package. Objective C compiler, LLVM based. Slang binary, Slang 13, Slang 14, 15, 16, 19. What happens if I just install apt install Slang? Okay, Slang will pull, looks like version 14 here, and some dependencies. Vladimir, Build Essential did not include autoconf and the rest, but it did recommend installing those packages. It clearly asked on the screen that these are recommended ones. So, as I'm not a developer, I may not be fully familiar with what do you need for Slang development, but if you can see the packages being installed, I think this is a fairly comprehensive package. Maybe a couple of more packages will be needed to be installed after this, like autoconf. Autoconf. Autoconf is also pulling automake. What if I try to pull from breakports, just for fun, like out conf. There is no new version. Okay. One thing to note is apt build dependency package name installs build dependencies for that package. Okay, that's an answer for Vladimir. So if you want to like compile your package, then you would with this command you would pull the build dependencies for that one. Let's go with vim apt install vim. Okay, it's already the newest version, but 9.0. What about vim from backports? Also, okay, let's try this command. Apt build dep and vim. Yeah, is this the full command? Build dep package name. Okay. Okay, so it's pulling auto point, cscope, deb helper, a whole bunch of things, libgel. What else is there? Some Python stuff, preview, latex, Ruby. Basically everything that would allow you to compile full Vim and then make it so that you can repackage your own Vim as a deb package in the end, right? People sometimes tend to do that with Emacs. For example, some people compile their own Emacs with different flags while compiling, enabling, disabling stuff. And if you want to like properly install Emacs in Debian, like the Debian way, then you will most probably want to do it in this procedure, right? And not not just download the source from the internet and install it in a regular target way. I'm still not fully well. Also, I'm not a developer, non-programmer, but I often build some odd software or other, so I need at least so I need all that is there in DevToolbox. When we are on Vim, Windows again signed the new Vim upgrade as a virus. Yeah, things happen. So if you would, yeah, I mean the Debian way is something that you should probably get yourself familiar with if you will be actively using Debian or Devuan or whatever, because they have all these instructions on their web page in their manuals how they prefer you to install source packages. Of course, you can download targets of something and just make install it, but that will end up in user partition, right? But there is a procedure how you can compile the source and make it a Debian package at the same time, and then install this Debian package that you have created, so you can easily remove it later, and you can make dependencies for it and similar things. Alex says another thing to note is that Xrepo package allows to easily enable many known third-party repositories, for example, VirtualBox or LLVM1. Xrepo? Is that built in? No, it's not. I remember that command from somewhere. Oh, okay. I remember it vaguely from my mind, but I don't remember using it too much. Is this like a repository name or a package name? Or how do we list them? Search, update, disable, enable. Give me an example how to use Xrepo. Like, can I do I don't know, GitHub? Oh, Brave, Brave less, so I can read it actually. Brave browser release repository at the location brave.com. I mean, usually I add these things myself because it's not that hard. I think even you just download Brave deb, and when you install it, it automatically adds the repository. But this is also convenient. So stable deb main. What is the name of the repository? Brave underscore release. Okay, understand now. Uh, enable Brave underscore release. Apt install Brave. Apt update. Okay. And now install Brave. Brave browser. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. This command is actually very convenient. Thanks, Alexei. Vladimir says searches for repos, not packages, but see, if I want to install package called Brave, then it actually found me a repository called Brave, right? That's why I typed Hyperland and nvim, because I thought that some of them might have the repository that's actually called in that name. So how maybe search neovim. Maybe it's called like that. No, it's not. Ah, I mean, it is what it is. But to be honest, I would like to have an easy way to update NeoVim, right? Also, I would like to have an easy way to update KDE on a Debian stable. Search KDE. That doesn't make too much sense, but I'm just searching for it anyway. Okay. Shall we change the desktop environment? What was that command that Alexei, help me out. There is another command that gives me text user interface to switch the desktop environment. For NeoVim, it's easier to put up image to user local bin. Oh well, I suppose that's true. There is a command that gives me a text user interface to choose between KDE, GNOME, XFCE, and some more. The same one from the Debian installer. I just forgot the name of that command. Task cell. But you can just install task whatever package. Task KDE desktop. Task GNOME desktop. Okay. KDE or GNOME? Shall we just continue shilling for KDE? Task KDE desktop. We need 750 packages. Shall we go on? This might get us stuck for a short while. KDE, okay, let's do it. If nothing else, I have a fairly speedy internet, but this would be faster with Debian repositories because Devuan is not actually close to me, so it doesn't take advantage of my internet speed. Debian repositories are much faster. But okay, already at 15% with the downloading. If I remove, let me just see. I shouldn't. The pkg minus list grep task. We have task desktop. Just task desktop. Devuan desktop environment. Okay, so also we have task XFCE desktop. Should I suspect that this is the same thing? Because it's the same version. What if I remove task XFCE desktop? Would it leave everything in place? I think it would leave everything in place. I'm just thinking if I can remove the whole XFCE with one command and everything that came with it. Oh, also, yeah, one of the reasons why people would install Devuan. Ta-da! apt keeps suggested packages by default. There is an option to disable that. To disable keeping suggested packages. No, I was just thinking if task cell would, if I would go to task cell and untick the checkbox, the star next to xfce, would that remove the xfce? I suppose not. I suppose that's the same command. Vladimir says, can't you change desktop environment just with pointing xinitrets? It's not that I cannot change the desktop environment. It's just that I was wondering if I can uninstall Xfoot's desktop environment in one swoop. Okay, because you can always choose into which one to log in. That's no problem. Okay, Alexei has provided a very, very interesting command, which we are going to test in a moment now. We need to let it finish this job first. We cannot interrupt this. Sorry if I'm being too negative about Debian unstable and experimental. It's just that this is something. Something that doesn't quite resonate with me, right? I mean, if I don't know in which world would I use this Debian experimental, right? Because if you use Debian stable, then you usually don't really care what is coming in the future because everything is coming in the future, right? Testing and unstable are whatever. And if experimental is like properly rolling, but it's experimental, then I don't know how to feel about that one. Okay, so KDE has been fully installed along with SDDM Login Manager, which I have selected as default on the next boot. Let's do the Alexis command to try to remove xfce. apt auto remove -o apt auto remove suggested suggests important suggests important equals 0 task xfce desktop. Okay, so this is going to tear down some stuff that I don't recognize along with guest streamer, which might be unfortunate, might not. We will see. Okay, let's kill it. Stevie with a lot of icons. What's up, Stevie? Subso supiti subsup. Okay. This is removed. Let's try task Devuan desktop. Was it not such package? dpkg list grep task. Oh, it's already gone. Or just task slash desktop. Sorry, task slash desktop. That's what I wanted to remove as well. So this will remove. Oh, interesting. This is going to remove task KDE desktop and Xorg. Okay, so this is not a good idea to remove. Let's reboot it a little bit. Vladimir says, I feel same with FreeBSD. Only release for production. Stable is okay for home desktop. Current is for testers and developers. I haven't tried current on FreeBSD, but honestly, the release cadence, right? It's every what 4 updates per year, is it for the package releases? That's fine. I mean, if Emacs comes out with a new, okay, this theme is a little bit bright, and I don't even see who I am. I mean, I know who I am, but good. So yeah, I mean, if I FreeBSD has a really good model for me. It is a stable operating system, right? So I'm not talking about rolling operating system and kernel being changed all of the time. It's a stable operating system. When the next stable operating system comes out, I can upgrade to the next stable. But what the operating system itself contains is not even what I would want to be updated all of the time, right? What I want to have up to date is my desktop environment and my desktop software and my development software. So that would usually include like KDE, Plasma, Login Manager, whatever, Emacs, NVim. I'm stuck a little bit, but you get the point. OBS software that is something that I would need to have up to date. Or if I switch to Hyperland, I would need to have Hyperland always up to date. But all of these things that I like to have up to date, 4 months more or less is not that big of a deal. What is a big deal is having Debian packages updated every 2 years, right? So you wait for 2 years and you're stuck with KD with a buggy version of KD 5. And then 2 years pass, and then you get KD 6, which is already obsolete on day one. So that kind of sucks. But every 4 months, that would be like perfect. I don't need them to update stuff every day. Like what I'm using now as a rolling distribution, Arch Linux, it's not that big of a deal. It's good for content creation on YouTube, Odyssey, and similar, because I can test stuff that are being released like yesterday. That's good. But for normal usage, I don't really need truly bleeding edge software. Quarterly and latest are for packages only. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now I understand. But I was talking about packages. I was talking about quarterly packages plus the stable operating system. This combo is what I like, right? I don't need a current operating system because it will not bring me anything meaningful into my life. Um, when the next one comes out, it's fine. Maybe Fedora is your best bet then, uh, for uh, for having a stable Fedora. How often does that come out? Every 6 months, is it? Am I correct? 2 releases per year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They align with GNOME, right? Or is it once per year? No, Ubuntu is every 6 months. Sorry, Fedora is once a year. Oh, sorry, I got totally confused. Is it once a year or twice a year? I know that Fedora keeps updating the kernel all the time. I have tried Fedora a couple of times, but it didn't quite sit well with me. Maybe I could give it another chance to see where we are at the moment. But I have tried two different Fedora versions in a row, and both have had the same problem on my same computer. Basically, I could show you this video because I think it's still uploaded on my YouTube. It's just hidden. It was a stupid video. I have installed Fedora and everything worked fine. And then I would allow Fedora to update itself, you know, operating system update, not update to the next version, just the regular update. And when it fetched updates, it would get stuck on the login screen on which I couldn't log in for whatever reason. And this would happen a lot of times after I would do a system update. And it just stays stuck like that until I force reboot it, and then it's fine. It's really odd behavior. It could be due to some of my hardware components, but it only happened with Fedora. The problem with quarterly is they are not supported well. Even FreeBSD developers recommend using latest, especially if you're also using ports. This is not, Alexei, I'm not sure if this is completely correct about packages. I am fairly confident that I have. No, maybe you're right about x86. For some other architecture like ARM or something third, um, stable or like quarterly has had newer packages than latest, which was weird. But only on some other architecture. For x86, it's probably like you said. Okay, so we have installed KDE for what reason? Why did we do this? Sorry, I forgot to unify outputs. Okay, now we have unified outputs. Let's go back to 120. Why is it not sync reset? KDE 5 is really weird. Okay, so I have opened this menu here, right? This is KDE 5. And I picked the option unify outputs because I wanted the exact same stuff on both of my screens. Okay, now we are unified. I can see the same thing on my end, which you can see on your end. And then we go to configure display, and we can see that there is only one screen here, which means we are unified. This is perfectly fine. And then I want these unified screens to enlarge themselves in scale. So I start clicking zoom, 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 and it's only zooming one of the screens. And for what reason is it doing in this particularly stupid way? So then I have to do the same with another one. And now I can, yeah, okay, now I can apply and keep, and we are now still unified. Okay, so this is, I don't get it. It's stupid. It is fixed in KDE 6, mind you, but in KDE 5, this really acts silly. Let's log out and log in and see if this fixes itself or something. Alexei says I'm not a fan of KDE like at all. Which desktop environment do you love, Alexei? Or maybe just a window manager? Or are you a tiling guy? Yeah, it's still same behavior. Such stupid thing. Okay, I need SDDM. Let's just apply the default theme. Okay, let's log out again. Should have a theme now. Voila. This is good. Vladimir is exclusively KDE. I have tried a bunch of things. I have used GNOME 2 for a while after I became a desktop environment user. Before that, I used Enlightenment window manager slash desktop environment. Before that, I used the window maker most of the time. After GNOME 2, I tried KDE, whichever version was it back in the day, but it was okay until they renamed it to Plasma. And when they renamed it to Plasma, it was kind of shit, and I no longer liked it. I don't really remember what I used after that until GNOME 3 arrived, and then GNOME 3 was also trash. So for a while I used Ubuntu Unity. Unity was actually fine, much better than GNOME 2, in my opinion. And then at one point I was forced to GNOME 3 again. And now I'm a little bit on KDE 5 and 6. I use 5 at work, but it's a bit shit. So it is what it is. I use Debian, so I'm going to use it for a little bit more. I don't actually remember why are we even in KDE, but I guess we just wanted to see how the different environments are behaving on Devuan. Okay. What else? What else? What else? What do you want to feel from Devuan? I mean, the operating system is perfectly fine. Maybe the installer is a little bit weird, and maybe you should use the net install to get a slightly better experience and maybe more options during the installation, and skip the xfce completely in the very beginning. Vladimir says Mandrake had KDE. That's what hooked me, so I just continued with it on FreeBSD. 6 is so much better. That's true. Absolutely true. We're almost at 2 hour mark. I think we could end this stream successfully. I mean, the whole thing is installed. Show how init works. Um, would init even be shown here? We have already rebooted it. This is the init daemon, what you see on the screen. Stopping network connection manager, stopping sane network scanners, stopping X display manager, Slim. It failed to stop Slim because it's not even running. Maybe we should uninstall Slim if it has stayed installed, so that it doesn't throw errors, right? Not sure how fast will it fly through your screen. Yeah, so this is the kernel. Yeah, you couldn't see it. It's too fast. Let's go back to VT1 root dpkg minus minus dpkg minus minus list grep slim. Okay, apt auto no apt remove minus minus purge slim. So slim is the login manager that came with xfce. Apt remove is removing a package. Purge is purging the configuration file, if any. So the you can see that the following packages will be removed, and it says slim star. Slim is of course the only package that is being removed, and star means that it will remove the configuration as well. You can choose to leave the configuration if you're going to need it later. So in sysvinit, this is pretty normal. Alexei says, why remove with purge if you can just apt purge? Because that's how I am used to. You know, there is always time to learn more commands. Apt purge Emacs. Oh, cool. Learned something new today. Vladimir, you don't have too much experience with Linux, right? So systemd is not something that you are familiar with, just as much as you are not familiar with sysvinit init daemon, right? In it's a bit difficult to put it in few sentences, right? But when I was growing up, sysvinit was the default init daemon on pretty much any Linux operating system. So you would go to edit init the folder. Here is you have all of the scripts, right? And for example, if let's see that do we have kddm here? Kddm sddm, sorry, sddm, nano sddm. Okay, so we have script for the sysvinit daemon. This is a script that gets sddm login manager running, right? So this script provides sddm, should start dbus, default start in all of these init. What are they called? We talked about it on Sunday, right? 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 init crap. I'm going to remember it soon, right? But basically, this is the whole script that does everything that is needed. It should have like a stop and restart function somewhere. Run levels, yeah. Alexei, thank you very much. Sysvinit run levels. So this is the daemon, start arguments. I'm not going to go through the script. The script knows what its job is. What you can do about the script is edit init the sddm and stop, and you just call the script directly, and it will stop this daemon, right? If you literally you just call the script with some arguments. If you want to start it, you type start. If you want to restart it, you type restart if the script supports the command restart. So now it's killing it, raising it again, and we have restarted the sddm daemon. It reads RC first and goes from there, right? Not sure what you mean, but fine. So in init the folder, you have all of the init scripts that are possible. Let me just remove my head from here. So these are all of the not much different from FreeBSD. Okay, so these are all the scripts that are available, but they are not all starting on the system boot. Go back one folder and then go to rc, and now you have run levels, right? If you go to run level 5, which is the normal run level that we use when we boot into the multi-user plus network plus X Windows environment, this is run level 5. When we go here you will see a lot of symlinks that lead back to the actual script, and they have some numbers. Okay, so you have ls minus minus color. Okay, so I just wanted to use color so you can see that they're light blue. Light blue means symlink. So here, that is what you can see is the scripts that are starting with the run level 5. And when you see the details, you can see that where is the SDDM? SDDM is on the middle of the bottom half of the screen, right? You can see it as S04 SDDM, and it is calling SDDM script from the actual folder. S04 means that it will be on the 4th position of the script start in an order, right? First it starts the first script, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. If you have multiple fourth scripts, I'm not actually sure in which order will it start them, but it will certainly not pay attention on them, other than starting the number 4 scripts after the number 3 scripts, right? That's the order. If you want to start something, the very last thing at the end, usually I would make some user scripts that would start with the system, and usually I would just put S99 on my own script, because I usually want my scripts to execute the very last one. So S is start. If you go back to the back RC 0. Okay, here we have kill scripts, because 0 is what did you say that 0 was? Like power off, shutdown? I think it's shutdown. And 6 is reboot 1, if I'm not mistaken. Catching up with chat. Alexis says systemd is so much better in my opinion, but that's a controversial topic. I mean, the systemd has been born from the necessity of some missing features of sysvinit, right? So from that perspective, it certainly should be more than expected that it actually is better, right? It's just that I don't hate systemd. The only problem that I have with systemd is that I'm not actually a Linux fan. I'm a fan of free software. That is a slight difference. So if you put FreeBSD in my hands, then I would like to use my same software on FreeBSD because it should be compatible, right? But some software depends heavily on systemd, and that's a shame, because this software you either cannot use on FreeBSD, because of a silly requirement that it depends on systemd for some odd reason, because the developer was lazy or something, or or you will be able to use it, but you will have to program some workarounds or extract some parts of systemd and install it on the on FreeBSD and other systems that don't feature systemd like Devuan, right? So how SDDM even works on KDE and on Devuan? It depends on on systemd, but there is package called I think a login or something like this, something with seats. Dpkg minus list grep login. Yeah, okay, so I got it right. A login daemon. This is, as far as I know, this is a daemon with which people have kind of extracted from systemd and make it standalone package so that it can be ported here and there. So while systemd has benefits, yeah, it's a little bit awkward because I think it's taking away the I wanted to say freedom, but it's not that it's taking my freedom if I'm a Linux user who likes to use systemd. It's just that it's taking my software away. If I move to a non-systemd operating system, be it another Linux or FreeBSD or whatever, it gets harder to reach some of the software, right? Even with Linux, for example, on Devuan, I don't think you can use snap packages because snap daemon depends on systemd. So you know, Vladimir says SDDM works great on FreeBSD. Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's because uh, if that's because of SDDM developers have made it so, or FreeBSD porting team has made it so, or is FreeBSD also using a login daemon to to provide what SDDM is missing? Okay, Alexei. Okay. Yeah, the topic is a little bit. I'm not saying, I would not actually say controversial. But it's just a bit complex, as I do use systemd because I want to like go with the flow, right? Because I get all of the new software that is usually just optimized to function with systemd. And when you step out of this comfort zone, then I wouldn't say start having problems, but it is a different environment, right? So any software which depends on udisks also depends on udev and needs to be patched to work on FreeBSD. Yeah, I suppose that's how it is. I'm just not sure how SDDM works on FreeBSD. Who is responsible for this to work, right? Where was I? I wanted to show you something else. For example, we have this a biggest problem with systemd is when something breaks, it's real pita to fix. People just write for Linux first, which is understandable. You'll always have issues when using other operating systems. Yeah, that's also true. It's just that when things go intentionally into Linux exclusive territory without any concern for other operating system, I think that's slightly unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let me see if I remember correctly. If I just type init1, will my Devuan immediately switch to run level 1? Like will it shut down all of the running daemons and then run only the defined daemons in the first run level? Because if I remember correctly, it will do exactly that, and I will be in like a root shell access only. Yep, that's it. Run level 1. I actually pressed Control D. Did it not say? I'm confused. Let's go once again. Did it not say that if I press Ctrl D, I will enter the shell? Ah, Ctrl D to continue along to the run level 5. Okay, sorry. I wasn't reading. Okay, good. Do we have top? Top, yeah, we do. 156 megabytes of RAM. Init 5. 333 megs with just the daemons and the SDDM running. I don't know, Alexei, how would I put it? It's just that I have sometimes trouble adapting to new stuff, and it's not that I cannot learn. It's just that I am sometimes of this mentality: if it works, don't touch it. And of course, the development couldn't function in the way that I think. So of course that Wayland was born, and of course that a system that was born, and similar stuff. So it's just that seeing this sysvinit now in front of my hands and eyes, and like touching it a little bit, it brings back memories. And basically it's a nostalgia towards things which I have used to understand a lot, and now I'm using systemd, which I actually understand less than I understand sysvinit. That is the thing. So it is a matter of learning, right? So if I would go with I'm already going with systemd. It's just that I need to learn the all of the intricacies of systemd. That is all. 5 was Red Hat default. How can I see which run level is running right now? I didn't find it. I'm just gonna believe it that it's on 2. Wait, unit 2, switching to run level 2. We are already there. Okay. So one part of me is always in this dreamy nostalgia mode, and since I have used Debian for so many years and simply got used to using Debian's sysvinity, it just always worked so nicely, and I felt like I have a lot of control over my computer. With systemd, it's a little bit weird, um, and I suspect that it all comes from the fact that I simply don't have enough experience with actively digging under the hood of it, right? 2 to 5 and Debian were the same. Okay, okay. My dog arrived. Should I gas him? Just a second. What is F? Vladimir says it's interesting to see how different things are in different distros. I have some Mandrake and some CentOS experience and minimal Lubuntu, but Debian looks different already. Lubuntu and Debian today are fairly similar now because they all switched to systemd. This is not Debian, this is Devuan, and the only reason why Devuan exists is because some people want to have the freedom to choose their own init system. So whether you think that's a good idea or not, but clearly there are enough people that actually want to be able to not use systemd. So you already have you always have these clans of people, right? Some people simply deny systemd because it's cool to deny it, and just send them to hell and use what they're used to without any meaningful reasoning. Some people have some more valid reasons why they want to avoid systemd, but there is always this, how would I put it? FreeBSD is an operating system. Linux, not so much. Linux is a bunch of Lego cubes that are patched together. So that's why we have so much freedom into choosing what and how we want to use on our Linux system. When people ask, do we need 500 different Linux distributions? Well, the answer is yes, we definitely do need them, all of them, because some guy over there will be using the fork of the fork of the fork of the fork Linux distribution something something, because that one is offering a small change from the small change from the small change from the small change, and that's just the way he likes it. And there's just about enough developers of that distribution and just about enough users that all of this can fairly coexist, right? So I have always been a fan of can I call them mother distributions? Debian, Slackware, Red Hat previously, right? Um, Open Mandriva, also a mother distribution. I mean, it is not. Um, all of these are not did not come from anything, right? Arch Linux and etc. Right. So when people ask me what I think of Endeavor OS, I mean nothing. I can just install Arch and have Endeavor OS. It's just called Arch. This is how I see distributions, right? But then again, you always have these versions of stuff. If you want to use Ubuntu, but have a premium Cinnamon desktop environment experience, then you use Mint, right? Mint is just Ubuntu. Literally, it's Ubuntu with the latest version of Cinnamon and decorated by the Cinnamon team. And they have done a couple of changes, removed snap packages, but overall it's just Ubuntu. If you want Debian with premium Cinnamon experience, then you will not install Debian with Cinnamon, but you will use Linux Mint Debian edition, right? So that's once again Debian. It's simply clean Debian, but with the maintenance is on the almost everything is Debian. It's just that Mint team is doing their own changes on it, right? So there is always a reason why would you want to use a forked, no, not a fork, but a derivative distribution, right? Because it will give you some packages that the mother distribution does not have out of the box, right? Because you can install Debian and you can decorate your cinnamon the way that it's done in the actual Linux Mint Debian edition, and you can find ways to install the latest version of cinnamon, although Debian does not natively provide it. It's just a little bit more work to get there, but you don't really have to install Mint in order to have the Mint experience. It's just that what Mint experience means is that Mint developers are taking care that you get Mint experience out of the box and that you don't have to do it yourself. So less manual job, more automatic stuff out of the box, and etc. Right? Vladimir says, I'm all for people taking code and making and remodeling it to their own thing. What I don't like is straying from Unix. That's the thing with me as well. I'm a bit of a fan of Unix philosophy, right? Keep it, simple and stupid, if that's how they say it. Have all of these parts that talk to each other, right? So, what does not conform to the Unix philosophy is definitely systemd. Totally anti-Unix philosophy. But it is what it is. In the future, I will probably start using BSD more and more, simply to see how far can I get with these operating systems, without mentioning video games. Right? I don't expect to play video games on that, but everything else, it kind of seems doable, right? So I'm a bit of in the switching mood from OpenBSD to FreeBSD. Both of them have some of their advantages, right? I want to learn them both. A little bit of that, a little bit of that. So that's where we are. There was like roughly 10 people in this stream when we were actively playing with Devuan, and now there is only 4 of you, and I guess I can see all of you in chat. And I was kind of Alexei says, I would argue that system is quite modular and consists of many pieces which work together. I guess it's a matter of perspective. maybe maybe it all rolls back to what I said like half an hour ago, that I simply need to learn systemd deeper. Maybe a lot of systemd haters online are simply people who are unwilling to learn new things. So maybe they hate that they need to learn new things. So that could be as well, um, a good reason to publicly show your hate towards some software because you're lazy. Hmm. Talk to me some more. I'm just checking my options in the stream. And proof admin is losing their hair. Oh, cool. I can click on your names and see what you have been talking and commenting on my channel, even beyond this chat. Funny, funny and interesting. Actually, no, it's just live chats, but not just this one, but all of them. I can see what Vladimir was, for example, posting in chat in my previous streams. That's kind of interesting. Okie dokie, guys. Only 3 of you remaining. Shall we kill the stream now? Alexis says, what I do like is standards. It's so great to be able to deploy a single service file which will work in every but a tiny bunch of distros. Same with Flatpak and such. There is a benefit in that. And they want to give developers a chance to start earning money on their. I have some dropped frames on my stream. Uh, Let me know if my stream is not okay. I saw some dropped frames on the OBS. Anyways, yeah, I mean the flat hub. Please pet my doggy for me. It's no longer here. My wife snatched it, but I will do that. No, the way I see FlatHub is like a different distribution, right? So FlatHub packages don't need any of the libraries from your distribution where you are installing these packages. So from that perspective, it's kind of like a different distribution, right? So it doesn't really matter what the base is. It's kind of frightening and exciting at the same time. I'm not sure what to think of it, but I already use Flatpak, so it's not like it's not like I am against it, right? It's just uncharted territory for Linux users. Also, some developers are actively starting to prefer Flatpak, such as Bottles, right? One of the most famous ones who wants us to use his Flatpak package. Yeah. The only thing that we can't really do with Flatpak is we can't change the core stuff like desktop environment. You can't really switch from KDE 5 to 6, right? With Flatpak, your distribution needs to provide you with that, and also the console the text console software. This part is I really don't like it. I don't like it how it's done in Snap. In Snap, it's actually done better than in Flatpak, but I don't even like it in Snap, and even less how it's done with Flatpak. It's just not there yet. I'm not even sure if they are going to be able to make it so that I like it. I don't know. With Snaps, at least you can just run the CLI command as you would run it normally, but I think you can only run one. For example, if some package comes with multiple executables, right, and you install it as a snap, I think you will only have one executable that can get mapped to the system. I was when I was researching this is when I installed Debian. For some reason, I needed Debian 12. I mean, for some reason, I needed a newer version of Emacs, like 29, because of some features, I think. But I might be mistaken. I know that I was trying to update Emacs, and I had a couple of ways to do that. Stick with the old version, pulled it from Snap, and Snap version, of course, was the latest one, but it didn't quite work well. I don't really remember why, but it was not really. I think the Emacs daemon mode wouldn't work as a Snap. I think that was the problem. Flatpak, I really don't remember, but I would guess it would be even worse if it even exists as a Flatpak, the Emacs, right? And then I tried backports, but backported version, the first one that I tried like a year ago, had some, let's say, bugs in the backporting procedure. It depended on I spell version something that wasn't available, and it kept throwing errors whenever I would start Emacs, and it would really make me annoyed how it felt like the developer who backported it didn't even try it on his machine, so that felt a little bit stupid. So now it's fine. Generally, Debian stable is really a good fit for me. If some of the user-facing software would be optionally offered as a backport. But yeah, I guess they don't have enough developers and maintainers to do all that. So it is what it is. Time to cut the stream, guys. Maybe go to bed. It's midnight in half an hour here. Let me show you how the stream went. If I turn off the HDMI capture dongle here. All right, this is my learning material. Never mind this. I didn't want to show that, but actually I wanted to show you this. Okay, so we had like from the first hour to roughly the until we stopped playing, right? We had a lot of, I mean, not a lot, but honestly, I did not expect anyone to show up except maybe 3 or 4 guys for a Devuan installation. It's not really a nice sounding name that the YouTube algorithm would push on people, and everyone would want to see what Devuan is, right? It doesn't sound very fancy. So like this part here with roughly 10 users here, that was kind of cool to see. That was plenty of people for something called Dev1. Alexei says they are volunteers after all. Of course they are. Of course they are. But it's just that Debian really does have a lot of them. So, but I suspect they're needed elsewhere and not doing backports. Yeah. Sorry about that, Alexei. I just decided on this stream really on a whim. I announced it like 45 minutes earlier only. Uh, I I do that sometimes. I felt like streaming, and I said to myself like, let's give people like 45 minutes heads up, so it should be fine. But yeah, I think we can. Where is my HDMI capture dongle? There we go. I think we can safely power this off, right? Alt. One of my favorite ways to turn off the computer. Thank you very much for attending. Also, Vladimir and whoever is present. There are 4 of you guys present, and the other 2 are not chatting. But thank you very much, and see you around.